So when does Grand Theft Auto Online take place? That's one of the most popular questions asked in the Grand Theft Auto community. That has about 10 million answers that are not right, but these answers are also not wrong. Today we're going to shed some light on one of the most confusing topics in the Grand Theft Auto series, history, and all of that, and obviously that's when does GTA Online take place? So Rockstar always does a really good job at making things ultra confusing. Take the GTA universes, for instance. If you don't know about those, check out this super highly detailed video I made answering any question you have regarding the GTA universes. I made that about 2 years ago, and if you don't know about the universes, basically Claude, Tommy, CJ, or any PS2 era GTA character pre-GTA 4 can never under any circumstances return in any Grand Theft Auto. That's because of the universes, which a lot of people don't understand. And it's kind of the same concept with GTA Online times like 10. This is the universes on freaking
crack cocaine.
So if you learned something new from this video or you just find it enjoyable, then please give it a big thumbs up. Let's go for 3,000 likes. Spread the word. Also, if you don't already follow me on Twitter or Instagram at ZachCoxTV, those links are in the description. I asked you guys earlier, hey, when do you think GTA Online takes place? So Twitter and Instagram are a great way to get a hold of me outside of YouTube. The interaction on Twitter and Instagram is crazy, and there's so much positivity there, and you guys are always asking me tons of questions, so that's the best place to get a hold of me. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at when GTA Online actually takes place. So to start things out, let's put together a timeline of events for GTA Online. So firstly, GTA Online takes place 3 to 6 months before the events of the GTA 5 single player. Now you might be wondering, where is your source for this? So this has actually been going around for years. The GTA Online takes place 6 months before the single player, and my source for this is actually Rockstar Games themselves. On September 30th, 2013, just one day before GTA Online released, on an AMA on Rockstar's official website, they were asked, when does GTA Online take place? And to that, Rockstar answered, some people who've been playing through the Grand Theft Auto 5 story have been inquiring as to how the narrative of GTA Online correlates or crosses over. Grand Theft Auto Online is set a few months prior to the events of Grand Theft Auto 5's single-player story. So that right there confirms that it takes place just a few months before. Now, there's no official set time on whether it's 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. So my guess is that 3 to 6 months before the events of GTA 5, that's when it takes place. Which now brings us to the next question. When does Grand Theft Auto 5 take place? And that's a pretty easy one to answer. That is 2013. So basically, since Grand Theft Auto 4, each GTA game takes place in the year that they are released. GTA 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony, and The Lost and Damned all take place at the same time in 2008. GTA Chinatown Wars, which a lot of y'all don't actually know is a part of the HD universe, takes place in 2009, and GTA 5 takes place in 2013. All of those games were released in those same years that they take place. So lastly, in the timeline of events, that brings us to June 2017 with the release of the gun running update. And this basically confirmed when GTA Online is taking place as of 2017. And that's in the mission Mole Hunt, where at the beginning, Agent 14 states that it is 2017. And here you can have a brief listen in on that.
My arrival states, yeah, it's 2017. I can't believe it.
So once that very crucial line was stated in June 2017 with the gun running update, that's where there was a huge break in the GTA Online timeline. So we went from this taking place 6 months before the events of the GTA 5 single player in 2013, and my guess is that it's probably, we're either in late 2012 or early 2013, just depending on the actual timeline. But we went from that to all of a sudden being in 2017. So what does that mean? What's going on here and kind of where are we at? So with this timeline split, I believe that that gave us like 2.5 different options. So prior to gun running, we were on the same canonical timeline as Grand Theft Auto 5 in the HD universe. But once gun running released, and we're now in 2017, that kind of split this into two. So option number one is that GTA Online is no longer non-canon, meaning it doesn't continue on, or it's not a prequel to the GTA 5 storyline. It's its own just alternate timeline. We've got the same characters, the same everything, except that it's just its own alternate universe, basically, which would explain why we have flying motorcycles now, shooting rockets at people, super futuristic laser weapons, and things like that, which also led the Saints Row Twitter to actually throw some shade at Rockstar Games. So on November 12th, 2019, someone asked, okay, two things. One, GTA Online is effing unplayable with these stupid, crappy flying cars that fire rockets. Sorry, did we buy Saints Row? 2, dear Lord, that new Sonic trailer is funny. And Saints Row replied, the official Saints Row account, saying, now, who is copying who? And way back in 2018, just off topic, I made a video actually comparing Saints Row and Rockstar Games and all the shots that they've taken at each other over the years. But this is the newest one here because obviously throughout the years, Saints Row has been critically acclaimed as a GTA clone and copying GTA. But really, now, who is copying who? But that aside, that brings us to option number 2, and that is every update since the gun running DLC is a real-time progression in GTA Online. So basically, gun running, which released in June 2017, takes place in 2017. Moving on to, say, the Casino Heist, for instance, which released in July 2019. Well, that brings us to July 2019. So basically now with any update that we get, the year that it releases and the month that it releases is basically where we are at in GTA Online. That makes the most sense to me. And that can be kind of like I said, canon to what's going on in the GTA 5 single player. But that said, that also brings me to option number 2.5, which is the same as option 2, except it's non-canon anymore. We're still in our own alternate timeline, not related to story mode anymore. So as confusing as that sounds, that's honestly what I believe is going on here. We've got option 2.5. It's, like I said, every update is a real-time progression in real life, except it's its own alternate timeline and universe, meaning that in GTA 6, for instance, GTA Online is not going to be a prequel to GTA 6. It might be a prequel to GTA Online 2, but it will be in its own alternate universe. So, like I said, that's the best way that I can kind of put things together and that it makes the most sense to me. Now that brings us to kind of the next topic that I do want to talk about, which is if you disregard all of that, well, we have just a huge mix of single player and online, but this alternate universe. And that is some continuity errors that we do have going on here. So the first one is a really old continuity error in basic Rockstar logic, but Trevor mentions in the single player how he's never been to Los Santos before the mission Friends Reunited, where he discovers Michael is in Los Santos, so he goes from Sandy Shores to Los Santos. And like I said, he mentions he's never been to Los Santos before. But in GTA Online, which is supposedly supposed to take place before GTA 5, well, Trevor is actually found within Los Santos, so that right there is continuity error number 1. The second one is with the Casino Heist. This is something very new, obviously, with July 2019, that confirms a lot of things for us. The first one is that option C is the real ending to GTA 5, meaning everybody lives happily ever after, which is really cool. It's pretty obvious that was always the real ending, but that said, in the Casino Heist, Tao Chang mentions that he was almost assassinated outside of the country club, and this is obviously alluding to the third way or option C mission in GTA 5 or the finale, which, like I said before, confirms which ending was the real ending. And Tao mentioning that he was almost assassinated outside of the club, like I said, alludes to the mission and the fact that we take out Tao's father. But if you take a closer look when doing that mission, Tao's actually in the same vehicle as his dad. So all these years we thought that he was actually taken care of and killed alongside his father, but that's not the case. So right there, we've got some continuity errors going on. The next is Smugglers Run, which released in August 2017, so just 2 months after the events, or after the gun running update, when Ron makes a passing reference to Trevor as having gone all Vinewood. And he also refers to Trevor as his old boss, meaning that him and Trevor are no longer intertwined with one another. And also, in the single player, we do have some very interesting nods to GTA Online and the protagonist. And like I said, this is where the real continuity errors come into play, because in the Casing the Jewel store mission in single player, which released way back in 2013, obviously before GTA Online, when Lester is going through kind of different guys to choose from and throws some shade at Nico, he also mentions us, the GTA Online player, as being too unpredictable. So with that said, that's a major continuity error right there, being that the single player takes place after online, but we're mentioned in single player, but single player and online aren't in the same timeline. So right there, that's a big one. And lastly, in our office at the casino, on the computer, we can take a look at the screen and see there's a calendar showing that the current year is 2012. Now, I'm going to kind of myth bust this one right here and say that this really doesn't mean anything at all. This is simply just a reused texture scene in the GTA 5 single player. We could see this throughout many computers in the game. Dr. Friedlander's computer is one of those if we glitch inside of his office. So that's kind of, like I said, just a reused texture, and maybe a little bit of laziness on Rockstar's part, as that's something that could have easily been updated. So I don't really think that applies to anything at all, but that does kind of go back to what I was saying before earlier on in the video, that with GTA 5 single player taking place in 2013 and GTA Online taking place 3 to 6 months before the single player, that would put online the original online in late 2012 or early 2013, so that's why maybe the calendars do say 2012. But basic summary for all of that is GTA Online was originally intended to be in the same timeline as the GTA 5 single player. Rockstar Games never intended GTA Online to become as big as it has. Because of this, the timelines became intertwined, which inevitably led them after a certain point to becoming their own timelines and own alternate universe. So if you enjoyed this video and I was able to shed a little bit of light on when GTA Online takes place and to make things a little more understandable for you and kind of organize them, well, hopefully I earned your thumbs up and maybe your subscription. You better freaking subscribe, man. Help a brother out. We're going on the road to 650,000 subscribers. That's crazy. So anyways, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you learned something new. And with that said, I'm Zach Cox. Love you all, and I hope to see you in the next video.